Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here with another beautiful, lovely, sometimes she has been known to make this here man a sandwich, wife of mine, light of my life, Yanzi Lynn.
Hi.
And today is a day we're going in depth on a rumor of a big Marvel sex scandal. So here we go. Yanzi, you want to talk a little bit about this?
So this rumor came out. Actually, it's not exactly a new rumor. This rumor has been floating around for a while, but some new information came out today, I
Hang on.
guess.
Floating around a while. I've heard about this for about a week, and I have actually seen DMs of people talking about this before this article came out. This is something going around pros. Okay, so
Yeah, the pro circles have been talking about this, but there wasn't really anything substantiated until something new dropped today. We're not privileged to say what dropped today, but yeah, pretty much it seems like Marvel Comics Vice President Sana Amanat has been fired for allegations of misconducts. As over here, he said this back in December. She was suspended from work due to misconducts or some similar charges. And that was when today we had some new information that says, yep, it pretty much happened. Ethan himself said over here, has been fired from Marvel for sexual impropriety with 2 male employees. So it seems like the actual information is that she was messing around with interns,
right,
staffers, I guess.
that's what I've heard is interns. Now, I guess that technically is a Marvel employee, but it's still happening at the office. It still shouldn't be. And that's kind of the issue. And we'll go into that a little bit when we get there.
Well, one thing that we have noticed though, and that is that Amanat hasn't updated her Twitter account in quite a while. Now, if you say, yeah, she's been kind of sporadic in using her Twitter, but she still updates every 2 weeks at least from the looks of it. And she hasn't updated since December. So what? There's like 3 months almost without any updates coming from her. So a bit suspect. So what exactly is Sana's position though in Marvel? So back in February of 2015, she was promoted to Marvel's Director of Content and Character Development. Hinting about 8 months after this date, there is this, very exciting event that everyone talked about for years afterwards called Marvel's All New, All Different. Yay!
Right. Because of the hit, which was Miss Marvel, which Marvel gave her like creator credit on, and I that's a whole thing on its own. It shouldn't, in my opinion, it shouldn't happen. Basically, because if you're an employee of the company, like a DC editor or something like that, usually creators get creator credit, and it's usually a clause if you work editorial, if you're on a position and you're an actual paid employee of the company owns everything you create. And usually companies build this in as a safeguard. And there's creators that don't really get creator credit, like, say, John Romita Sr. for The Punisher. Sure, he gets special thanks and stuff, but he's not doing any type of payments for the use of the character or anything like that because he was an art director at Marvel at the time that he did a character design of The Punisher, which then he handed to some other creators to draw. Now, to me, that's just the issue I have with this. Do I think somebody, if she did create the character, it's still Miss Marvel is the name's already been used. It's already owned by Marvel. It's like usually in my case, if DC asks me to come up with a new Superman design, I don't get anything because it's Superman. Even if I come up with a completely different character and they just use the name Superman, it's considered a legal derivative because it still uses the name. And I've always found this suspect that Marvel even decided to give her this. I assume she had diversity leverage and diversity higher leverage, and she was able to apply enough force and make a big stink out of it that Marvel gave her this comfy position that basically sounds she's in charge of developing new characters, which would be obviously diverse new characters, woke characters, so on and so forth. There's a big controversy kind of in this character in general. She has not really awesome superpowers. She basically has Mr. Fantastic superpowers.
You know what people around the world call her? They call her knockoff Luffy. So
Right.
Luffy, if people do not know, is the lead character of One Piece, and his powers are basically just kind of like rubber powers. He can expand his limbs, actually any of his body parts, manipulate them, bend them. Mr. Fantastic in a way. So, and then you come up with this version of her, and people are obviously comparing her to a way more popular character at this point. So
And actually,
yeah.
probably the biggest selling point of the character is she's Muslim. And I find it weird if you have to use religion as a selling point for a superhero, to me personally, it means that you're lacking creatively in the character, on their visuals, on top of their like origin story, everything, So, but anyways, that just again my opinion of the character, and I don't
You may
have
have
great.
you may have opinions on that, but I have been hearing, especially from Pakistanis, not American Pakistanis, but
Yeah.
I've been hearing from Pakistanis saying that she does not really represent what a Pakistani woman should be like. So, they end up with this sort of Americanized version of what they think a Pakistani woman should be.
She's
Yes.
American Muslim. That's the thing. That's where everything gets very kind of complicated.
Yeah, it's just
Like if you take any culture and you say this is an American Chinese or American Japanese or American Pakistani,
great. So there's a get out of jail free card basically when they say it doesn't reflect our culture. It's like, don't worry, she's partially American too. That's why it doesn't reflect your culture.
I'm not going to touch this. I'm not. I don't think I'm allowed to weigh in on this, but
Well,
a
I'll
lot
tell
of
you who
people.
can weigh on this. Gene Puck apparently at the Washington Post could weigh in on it and said, Marvel's Avengers, the problem with marketing a game for everyone. So for people who don't know, Marvel's Avengers is this game where they sold you and say, yeah, oh, Endgame, you loved Endgame, right? Well, there's this Avengers game here that y'all can play. And wait, I'm playing as Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel?
Yeah. That's basically what they made you do. As soon as you brought the game home, you cracked it open, you pop it in your PlayStation. You basically have to play as the character that you don't want to play as. This is the thing. Marvel very much cramming diversity down your throat, whether you want to or not, and charging you for it. That's the thing. It's like you have to pay money for this.
It's not even cramming diversity in your throat. At this point, they're basically cramming an unknown. People who know the MCU do not know Kamala Khan because she's never appeared in the MCU. And suddenly they throw her in there and then they say, here, you MCU fans, here's a game that you would like. By the way, here's a character you never heard of. Take it.
But it's kind of genius in a way. They're like, hey, give us $65. Think you're buying everything you're seeing on the screen right here, but we're going to cram this diversity character down your throat and give you a lesson and make you feel like you're learning some woke agendas while you're at it. But back to the problems that we're talking about in the video with this editor is because she is giving creator credit on this character, Miss Marvel, and maybe there's rumor of some issues, she's being fired because of bad behavior at work with employees. From the DMs I saw, Marvel's quietly trying to not make headlines with this. Why? Because there's a Miss Marvel TV show getting ready to come out, and this is absolutely a nightmare, especially for something like Disney Plus. Disney obviously putting everything in this subscription streaming service thing. It means a lot. Now, we saw how Gina Carano got around on the internet. This really pops off, this news and information gets out, especially the stuff I've seen. This could be catastrophic for Disney Plus in the way of just, can you believe this woman at Marvel pushed sexual advancements on interns? And, she's the creator and kind of based the character kind of off herself, a self-insert. And she had this high position at Marvel. Like, not just an editor anymore. Like she has this corporate position of character development and just holding that title of character development. What does that say just about Marvel or Disney Marvel, whatever you want to call it, altogether? Where does this go? What does this mean? What does it say just about the MCU altogether, especially if this new woke MCU that they're going for, obviously, we've seen the flop of Eternals. We're going to see the flop on this. It don't need no more stank behind it. It doesn't need like some office sexual harassment thing behind it, especially when it's supposed to be woke woman power. And I wouldn't be surprised when this comes out if woke SJWs try to say this is a woman's world and it's a sexual liberated woman. Of course, she's able to advance on men in the office because men have been getting away for it for years. Somehow, SJWs will try to spin this as a liberated woman. I promise you. And that's you watch when this is official, when this is out there, when Marvel has to issue a statement. Now, the issue is we've seen this before in comics, and you're right. Eddie Berganza at DC Comics was accused of sexual harassment for years. He got promoted in the New 52 and then 4 months later got demoted. If I had to draw some parallels to this, is Eddie was kept around at DC Comics, and this everybody knew this, because he was sacrificial lamb. Because when it came time, obviously people thought he was able to generate some buzz on some events and comics that, and make the company some money. Sure. But why wasn't he just booted out? Because there's a time and place to execute. And that would be when somebody says you're being bought out by a company and you have to downsize, need a random firing. Well, there's Eddie in the corner. Let's pull him out and slit his throat, and I'll save my job. So it's not weird to me that since December, she's just simmering. She's quiet. She's not making posts. She's just there. And because Marvel, and this has been rumored, that they're going to go through a bloodbath similar to DC at some point in time. So when she is let go of the company, it will probably be looked at as like just a corporate downsizing, because the truth is going to kill this TV show because of the self-insertion. Because
like I'm sure people aren't really, I'm sure people aren't already, dunking on it, because they're like, who is this character again?
I mean, the virtue signal of this. I mean, pictures of her with Obama holding this book and acknowledging it as a Muslim superhero character. All of this. The big virtue signal that they've been, the parade that they've been on for since 2015, 2016, it's all for this TV show. And this is just kind of like comic book geek karma here. It's wow, this is going to happen now of all times. I don't know. Right now, it's officially a rumor. Like I've said, I've seen DMs. I've seen people in the industry talking about this for about a week. Now it's kind of coming forward. I'm interested to see how Marvel handles this period. I would not be surprised. Right now, I'm officially saying it's rumor. This channel is saying it's a rumor. But I'm also strongly suggesting if there's a shakeup at Marvel, you will see her be let go, or she will magically find her true calling in life job somewhere else that she's happily to go leave and go do. The oddity of this is I'm not so sure if she will not be paid money for the character Miss Marvel as long as they continue to use them. The issue is, if this scandal happens to be true and it comes out, is Marvel going to be able to use this character Miss Marvel going forward without this constantly coming up? And they may regret ever giving an editor creator credit, period. So anyways, guys, if you guys will, look down below, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Also, big shout out to backers getting ready to get us up to $251,000 on Inglorious Rex, over $250,000 on our second Indiegogo campaign. If I will, please, guys, look down below. Look at the link, check it out, see if it's something you're interested in backing, and I will leave you guys with the trailer for Inglorious Rex, which has 0 sexual harassment in it. Here we go. Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. Did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 sense for imposters, so now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power.